Vraja-mandala Parikrama day, and we have an extraordinary, astonishing, beautiful day today. So we'll go to Javata, and we'll go to Kokilavana, and we'll walk around a little bit in the forest of Khadiravana. So basically it's two forests, Khadiravana and Kokilavana, and we'll describe different pastimes in these areas today. But first we'll have our out-of-the-box kirtan.
Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayaniti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vastracharya Chakarine Namo Om Vishnupadaya Gaura Prishaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshavayati Namane Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Sara Swati Namine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Adi Gaur Bhaktavinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Adi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva 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 Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Vrindavani Triloka Shoka Harini Prasana Vanta Ankajena Kunjavu Vilasini Rajendra Vanurandini Rajendra Sunu Sangate Kadakarisha Srihamam Vipaka Vajanam Ashota Vriksha Vallari Vitana Mandapasite Pravala Valla Pallava Pravalidam Trikomale Sarabhaya Spuratkare Prabhu Sambhadalaye Gadagari Sriyamam Vipatakakshavartanam Tanam Garangamangala Prasangabandhuraruvam Savikamam Sasangramam Priyantavanapradhanai Nirantarang Vasikrita Pratikrinandane Kadavarishyasi Amam Kripakatakshavarajanam Adon Nadi Yogane Pramodamanamindre Priyanurvakarasmite Jalavilasumandite Ananya Kunjarajakama Kelkomide Kadajalishyamam Kripakatakshavarajanam Sahava Ananya Danya Kunjara Yakamate Vikolide Tadatari Sasiya Bhavadira Hira Hara Bhushite Prabhuta Sata Tumba Tumba Tumbi Tumba Sustahi Prashasta Manga Hasya Punya Punya Sokya Sagare Jadagari Siyamam Vipaka Bhajanam Vala Vala Vallavi Taranga Ranga Gorlande Nirvana Jamokshana Hanashate Jadakarisya Jadakarisya Siyamam Vipaka Kanshita Trileka Kambukam Tage Trisuramangalina Tiratna Dipti Salola Nila Kuntala Prasuna Kumpite Kadagarisya Siyamam Vipaka Kakshavachanam Galandamana Pushpamekaladune Prashastaratna Kindiri Jalapamadhyamandale Kalinga Shanga Dandika Varoha Sobhadarate Kadakarisya Siyamam Vipaka Kakshavachanam Lola hema bhavani vidam Chandrame Rajarishya Siyamam Vivaka Kakshavachanam Ananta Vishnu Lokanam Rapadmaja Himadrika Puromaja Vivinshata Varavade Atmara Siddhi Jasvatmadam Durina Ke Jagajarishya Siyamam Vivaka Kakshavachanam Kriyeshwari Swadeshwari Sureshwari Vivekavarameshwari Pramana Shasaneshwari Rameshwari Kshameshwari Pramoda Prananeshwari Rameshwari Vijayite Viradike Namostute Imamabhutam savam nisham yadhanunam devi karotu sankatam janam Vripadaksha pasanam Bhavetudaiva samsikat Nashanam Bhavetvada Brajanga Surnamandala Praveshanam Ragadishasi Hamam Kripakataksha Bhajanam Sucharu Vaktramandalam Sukarnaratna Kundalam Sukachitam Gachandanam Namami Nandanam Sridhirganetra Pankajam Shikishikandamajam Arangakochi Mohanam Namami Nandanam Nasivayamokshikam Swachandadantavamrikam Navambudangashitanam Namami Nandanam Yarenu Renu Vanjikam Yati Karindraganjikam Kukulavita Shovanam Namami Nandanam Vibhangadeha Sundaram Bhakti Sudhakaram Amulya Ratna Bhushanam Namami Nandanam Sujanda Anga Sorubham Yura Vilati Kaustubham Surashri Vatsavachanam Namami Nandanam Mangalam Vilasamudavarsasam Surendra Garvamochanam Namami Nandanam Janganashunayakam Sada Sukapradayakam Jaganmana Pralovanam Namami Nandanam Nandanam Yashradhaya Dayam Gita Bhavet Bhava Duskaram Labet Tadam Priyo Nami Nandanandanam Nami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Namami Nandanandanam Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Go Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Jai Shishi Guru Garanga Ganhavika Gidhari. Radha Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Radha Govinda Dev Ki Jai. Radha Gopinath Ju Ki Jai. Nityananda Rai Ki Jai. Sachinandana Gauda Hari Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om. Asto Tarazara Shishimat. Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om. Asto Tarazara Shishimat. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarazara Shishimat Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Jagat Guru Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarazara Shishimat Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Paramahamsa Mahabhagavat Srila Gauri Kishodas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Saptam Goswami Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Jagannathas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Rasik Siromani Sila Vishnath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Treya Ki Jai. Jai Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Ki Jai. Jai Shri Rup Sanatan Shibata Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopal Bhattadasa Raghunath Sat Goswami Prabhu's Ki Jai. Jai Swarup Damodar Rai Ramananda Gaura Parasada Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haras Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sikha Hosi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Ki Jai. Shishi Radha Krishna Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Jamuna Ki Jai. Priyat Mridanga Ki Jai. Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Nam Bhajan Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Ki Jai. The Shingadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Gopeshwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Purnamasi Devi Maharani Ki Jai. Antadweep, Mayapur, Simantadweep, Gautandweep, Madhudweep, Koladweep, Ritadweep, Janadweep, Motandweep, Rudweep, Abhakanavadweep, Dham Ki Jai. Mandiravan, Badaravan, Bailvan, Lohavan, Mahavan, Madhuvan, Tolvan, Kamudvan, Bahulavan, Vrindavan, Khadiravana, Kamyavan, Vraja-mandala Ki Jai. Udja Brat Ki Jai, Damodar Brat Ki Jai, Niyama Seva Ki Jai, Kartik Maina Ki Jai, Anantakota Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Gold Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. Om Agina Timirandasya Gyananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Gurave Gauda Chandraya Radhikaya Tadavaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadavaktaya Namo Namaha Anapita Chirim Chirat Kurunavartino Kalo Samarapaitam Unnata Ujvala Rasam Svakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundarata Dikatam Vasadipita Sadahridare Kandare Spadatu Vasachinandanaha Yam Pravajantamana Petyam Apeti Krityam Vaipaino Viraha Katara Ajuhava Putreti tam mayatayo taravo vinedustam sarvabhutam hridim munimanatosmi Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay Shiptascha karmadi tarangamadye Kripa maitvam sharanam prapana Vrinde namaste charanaravindam Vajami radam aravinda netram Smarami radam marurasmitasyam Vadami radam karana baradram Tato mamanasti katyana kapi Tavai vasmi na jivami tvaivina iti vignaya radhe tvam nayamam charanantikam. A first of all offering millions and millions of Dandavat pranams unto the lotus feet of my beloved Gurudev. Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarzara Shishimat Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I'm offering the same again millions and millions of times unto the lotus feet of our beloved Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Asto Tarzara Shishimat Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and all our illustrious Rupanuga Guru Vargya, and all the Vaishnava and Vaishnavi devotees of the Lord, my Dandavat pranams to all of you. Avancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhu bevacha Patitalam Pavanibhyo Vaishnave Namo Namaha. So just to give you some orientation by the map, we'll have a quick look, do some quick Braj geography. So we've been camping in Govardhan, and we're going to go again to Varshana, and then we're going to go through Sanket, and we're going to go through Nandagaon. So this is the route coming from here, Nandagaon, and then we're going to go to Javat, which is just across here to the south of Nandagaon. Nandagaon is practically in Kamyavan, and Javat now is in Khadiravana. Khadiravana is where we're going, this forest. And then we're going to walk a little way. It's about 2 or 3 miles, actually, to Kokilavana. This, where it's written Kokilavana, this is encompassing the whole forest. The actual place that we go is closer than that to Javat. So this is where, and this is Koshi that we might mention today also. And then this is Khadiravana here, where I've got my stick underlining here. So this whole section in here is Khadiravana, and this is the forest where we're going to be. So just to recap quickly, we have Bandiravan, Bandaravan, Bilvavan, or Bailvan rather, then Lohavan, Mahavan, then Madhuvan, Talvan, Kamudvan, and then Bahulavan, and then Brindavan, the forest of Brindavan will come up here, and then Kadiravan and Kamyavan. So these are the 12 forests. So basically, this is our last traveling day today. So we will have covered all of these different forests during our month-long parikrama. All of these forests we'll have covered. So this Javat is where we're going today. It's in the north towards Delhi way, away from Govardhan, and then Kokilvan and Chata. We'll also mention Chata today, which is close by. This village, township of Chata. So this is the area we're going to be in. So yes, I hope you're memorizing this location and getting orientated with our eternal home, which is Vrindavan. We simply have to take some focused application towards the map. And there's not a lot of places necessarily, but just to get some idea, some feeling for this kingdom of Braj, which is our eternal home. So it pays just to spend, a little while to get familiar with the whole geography. And then we will definitely feel more at home and more orientated when we're wandering around in Braj. If we don't know, if we don't have a clue where we're going, then it can be very disorientating. But if you've got the map, the picture, then you'll feel much more comfortable and confident in moving around. So today, it's a nice ride to Varshana and then Nandagan. Previously, as I mentioned, we used to camp in Varshana, and we would camp also in Nandagan, and then we would walk from Nandagan to Javat. Nandagan to Javat is about 3 miles, and there's a road that cuts across through Terkadamba on the way to Javat. And this is why Rupa Goswami did his bhajan in Terkadamba, because the road that the Sakis would travel from Javat, because when, of course, Radhika, she marries Abhimanyu and moves into the household of Jyotila, and Radhika's younger sister, Ananga Manjari, she marries Durmada, who's the younger brother of Abhimanyu. So Ananga Manjari is there also in Javat. And they're Sakis because Rishabhanu, when he knew his um, illustrious daughter, Rishabhanu is so attached to Sri Radhika. Everyone is attached to Radhika. Mother Yashoda is so attached to Radhika. All the Brijbasis are attached to Radhika. So Rishabhanu, he built a beautiful palace in Javat for the accommodation of his beloved Radhika, so that all her Sakis could regularly stay there for any duration of time that was necessary. And of course, Durmada, he has his place with Ananga Manjari. So the mother-in-law of Radhika and her younger sister are both the same, Jatila. So this village of Javat, Javat gets its name from Vat. Vat means a tree, a banyan tree, large tree. And Java is the red juice that would come out of that tree. It's a juice. And Krishna would sometimes use it to decorate his body. But the township had a number of these large Javat trees. So it became known as Javat. And of course, principally a cow herding village, as all the villages are there. So you would just hear the cowbells, etc., and the mooing of the cows. That would be the atmosphere of Java. But there's a clear pathway that you can walk on today. It's a nice path. Well, it's a footpath. It's not really a vehicle path of any sort. Maybe a motorbike can go along there, but basically it's a walking path. And then halfway along from Java to Nandagang, you come to Terkadamba. So we've described also pastimes where Radhika and the Sakis are going to Nandagan to cook for Krishna, and Krishna squirted Radhika in the face with the cow milk when he's just. The more we hear about these pastimes, the more frivolous we appreciate how Krishna and Radhika are, but especially Krishna. Krishna is so mischievous. So this is what we're going to hear something of today, especially in Javat, because Krishna is not intimidated by anything, and his boldness prompts him to perform the most astonishing pastimes. So there was a day in Nandagan when Mother Yashoda, she was preparing a box of beautiful items, beautiful saris, jari saris, and jewelry, and sandal paste, and all kinds of scents and so on. A very opulent box. And Krishna, he was observing what was she doing. And then he was asking her, who is this box for? Is this for my birthday? He was saying. And Mother Yashoda saying, no, this is not for you. I have a bigger one for you and a bigger one for Balaram also. But this is for somebody very, very special to my heart. And Krishna is saying, well, who is that person that is so special to your heart that you're making such a big arrangement for? And Mother Yashoda, she starts to glorify Sri Radhika in the sweetest way, in the most beautiful way. She's saying how she has a dear friend, Kirtida, who has the most brilliant jewel of a daughter, and her name is Radha. And when Mother Yashoda says Radha like that, Krishna's hairs all stand on end, and he starts to tremble a little bit, hearing his mother glorifying Sri Radha. And he has to cover himself with his pitambar to hide his ecstatic emotions coming. Because to hear your beloved glorified by your mother is very powerful for Krishna's heart. So he's observing everything that Mother Yashoda is doing, and he's asking all these questions. And Mother Yashoda is saying, "Don't worry about that. You just go and play with your boyfriends, and just let me." But Krishna is insistent. He wants to know everything. Basically, he wants to hear Mother Yashoda's glorification of Radhika, and she begins to glorify Radhika. She says that she has the most excellent qualities amongst any of the Kishoris that she's seen in Braj. It's almost like Mother Yashoda, from the first time she met Radhika, wanted Radhika, of course, to be her daughter-in-law. And Kirtida, of course, wanted Krishna to be her son-in-law. But we described the other day at Pilipuka how that whole idea was quashed by Purnamasi, who is orchestrating the Parakiya Bhav, knowing that that is going to give the highest, most exciting, dynamic um, experience that the lovers can actually perform to increase the height of their bliss in their relationships. So Krishna is questioning Mother Yashoda, and he's examining all the beautiful items that she's putting in. And then one maidservant comes and tells Mother Yashoda, "Oh, the goldsmiths are here. They've come to make some more jewelry for you. You have to go and attend to that." So then Danishta Saki is close by, And Mother Yashoda says to Dhanishta Shaki, you guard this box very carefully. I just have to go and attend to these goldsmiths. So she leaves. And then Krishna, he calls his cowherd boyfriends in Sridham, Subal Saka. And together they speak with Dhanishta Saki and they make a plan to completely empty out all the contents of this trunk, this box, big box, and put them in another safe box. And Dhanishta Saki, she's very carefully moving everything. And then Krishna, he climbs into the box. And then they close the box. And then they put the locks on the box so it won't be open again. And then all these sakas are hiding behind, waiting to see what's going to happen next. And Abhimanyu, he's already in the courtyard of Mother Yashoda. And Mother Yashoda, because Radhika comes every single day to Nandagan to cook for Krishna, because she's got the boon from Durvasa Rishi, that anything she cooks will give that person a longer life, make them very strong, very healthy, and protect them from any evil and so on. So Mother Yashoda is very much aware from even Putana's presence right at the very beginning, and then Trinavrata, then Bakasura, and Shakatasura, all these different demons. So she's serious about wanting to protect her darling son as much as is conceivably possible. So then Mother Yashoda, she meets Abhimanyu in the courtyard with the jewelers, and she tells Abhimanyu, oh, I have a box of very beautiful ornaments and so on for your daughter-in-law. And I have a message also that I want you to give to your wife and your mother-in-law if she wants to know what's inside the box. So you tell them that this is coming from Mother Yashoda's heart, and this is the most beautiful ornament to decorate your beautiful daughter-in-law. So this is the message, to decorate her beautiful daughter-in-law. So Krishna, he's hearing this, you know, but Mother Yashoda has this message that what is in the box is going to decorate Sri Radhika. So Krishna, he's trying to contain his laughter. He's chuckling inside the box. And then Mother Yashoda says, I don't trust any of the other servants to carry this very sacred gift. You have to carry it yourself, Abhimanyu. Can you carry this box yourself? And then a couple of other servants, they help Abhimanyu put it onto his head. And Abhimanyu, he's feeling this indescribable joy in his heart. He's feeling indescribably happy. And then he starts to walk along with this box on his head to going to Javat. So it's 3 miles. And the whole way, Abhimanyu is feeling absolutely euphoric. He's feeling great. He's carrying the Supreme Lord of the universe on his head, and he's feeling intoxicatedly happy. And Krishna is inside, it's described. He's drowning in an ocean of mirth, in an ocean of laughter inside the box. And he's keeping very quiet. And then they carry the box, Abhimanyu carries the box into his mother-in-law, Jyotila, and gives the message that this has come from Mother Yashoda, and it's containing the most divine ornament to ornament your beautiful daughter-in-law. And then Jyotila, she looks at the box and says, well, that's too big for me or Radharani or any of the Sakis to carry. You yourself have to carry it into the room of Radhika. So Abhimanyu by himself, he carries this big box again directly into the chamber, into the room of Sri Radhika. And then he tells all the Sakis that are there and Radhika, this has come from Mother Yashoda, and the message is that this beautiful ornament is to hang on Sri Radhika, and it will decorate her and create all auspiciousness for Sri Radhika. And Sri Radhika is commenting to Lalita Saki, how come I feel this tremendous mischievous mirth rising in my heart when I'm looking at this box? She's feeling this ecstatic mischievousness, because this is so mischievous of Krishna. I mean, you have to be so bold to do something like this. Only Krishna could do something like that. These pastimes, they're called Chamatkar Chandrika. Chamatkar means astonishing. These are really, really, really astonishing pastimes. No one except Krishna could conceive of such pastimes as these. So they all, the Sakis, Abhimanyu, he leaves. And then all the Sakis, they crowd around this box and they're all giggling. They're all like really laughing, wondering what is in this box? What is in this box? And then Lalita Saki, she quickly opens the clips and they throw open the box. And instantly, Krishna jumps up and in a flash, he kisses every single Saki on the face. And then he embraces Sri Radhika. And Radhika, her dear companion of shyness, starts to come over her. And her natural nature of contrariness. As soon as she meets Krishna, she always becomes contrary because Krishna likes that. That's the mood. This what's it called? This Baumya Bhav comes over Radhika, and then Krishna, he's happily like displaying himself like that, and then Radhika says, "Oh, this is absolutely wonderful that you have done something like this, but you are such a thief because Mother Yashoda, she was packing so many beautiful jewels for me. And not only have you stolen the jewels, but you've stolen the box as well." And she becomes really contrary towards Krishna's joyful sort of surprise. And Lalita, she picks up on that straight away. Lalita, she has her pragalbhata, her strong mood. And she says, yes, Radhika is right. What have you done with all those jewels, etc.? The Mother Yashoda, you are a thief, you are a chore, you are always mischievous like this. And then they start to actually get on Krishna's case. But Krishna, he's laughing, and the other Sakis are laughing. And then Krishna, he says, well, actually, very carefully, Dhanista Saki, she stored all of the items. So they're all there, and they'll all come across in another box. In a few hours' time, they'll be coming across. But in the meantime, all I did, I just saw the fragrance of the box and wanted the fragrance of the box to come on me. So I just got inside, and then somehow or other, they quickly closed the box and put it on Abhimanyu's head to bring here. I didn't know it was going to come like this. So Krishna, in his usual very glib way, he just has these lies just instantly, these stories. And he says, if I am wrong, then you have to, as a punishment, keep me in your house for 3 days and bind me in the embrace of your arms if I'm to be punished. But if you're not wrong, then I have to take you to the king of Cupid, and we have to come before him for judgment. So then all the Sakis, they begin to laugh, they begin to clap, and Krishna is also very satisfied. But it's just remarkable how Krishna conceives of these astonishing pastimes to perform, and he does them regularly. This beautiful Chamatkar Chandrika book, I'm going to post it on our WhatsApp. It's in a narration form also. You can just listen to it, but there's 4 incredible. All of these pastimes all happen in Javat. Javat is the pastime center. There was another time when Krishna, he wanted to meet with Radhika. So much he wanted to meet with Radhika. We get this understanding of the desperation practically of Krishna's love for Radhika. He'll do anything to just have a glimpse of her and connect with her and meet her. So one day he comes in the evening time and he's hiding in a bear tree, B-E-R. That's how you, bear. Is that how you say it? Bear. It's B-E-R is how you spell it. So bear tree. And he's making a beautiful sound of, it's not a cuckoo, it's another bird. He's making a beautiful bird sound. And Jotila, she hears that strange sound, and she's there with a stick at the gate. And Radhika and the Sakis, they also hear. And Radhika, she tries to come down to open the gate and go to see Krishna, but she can't because Jotila's guarding. And then Krishna, he's trying to connect with Radhika, and he's trying to get into the courtyard, but Jotila, she just senses that something is going on here. So she's very vigilant. And Krishna, he can't make it into the courtyard, and Radhika can't come out of the courtyard. And the whole entire night, Krishna is hiding in this tree. He's hiding in this tree the whole night, and he doesn't get darshan of Radhika the whole night. He's trying because of Jotila. And there was another time when Kutila, Kutila, my Gurudev used to describe, is like someone who's always looking for faults, very envious. What's the meaning of Kutila? Kutila. Jotila is tangled, but Kutila is someone who's always looking for fault or my Gurudev used to describe like an ant. An ant is always looking for some crack, somewhere to get down, right? That's what ants do, crack, looking for a crack. So Kutila is always looking for a crack. So one day she sees in one of the rooms that actually Radhika has gone into the room, and she sees that Krishna has climbed in through a window and he's also in the same room. So Kutila, she slams the door and locks it. And then she starts shouting very, very loudly. And then Punamasi comes, Jotila comes, Abhimanyu comes, and they all come, and the Sakis come, and some other elder gopis come, and then together they open the door. And then what do they see? Radhika is inside worshipping Kali there. And they're all just like amazed. And Kutila, she's feeling so disgraced. So this place is called Dushan Stan. Kutila Dushan Stan, the place of Kutila's disgrace. So this is Kutila's Dushan Stan. There's also another past. So many.
They regularly have the deity of Krishna there.
Yes.
Who is dressed like Kali. And when I first saw that deity, I went, "Who is this? This is Kali. What's he doing?" And from this pastime, because Kutila had made a big fuss. She told everybody, "I caught them.
Yes.
I told you what's going on, and now I have the proof."
Yes.
Like that. So,
but she was foiled.
Totally, because like you said before, Krishna, when he dresses as somebody else, like a singer or gopi, whatever, he becomes
Yoga Maya. Yes.
So he became the deity of Kali.
Right. Arranges. There's another pastime here. It's a little lengthy, but I'll attempt to tell it. That one day, Jyotila, she had been sensing for just too long that Radhika had been associating with Krishna. And she just became emphatic that she wanted to put a stop to this. And she was thinking, how bad is it that my daughter-in-law goes to the house of another person every day to cook for her son? This is not normal. It's not a chaste thing to do. So she tells Kutila, you go to Yashoda Mai and you tell her that from now on, Radhika will not come and cook for your Lala. This is, she won't do like that. So Kotila, she says, but Mother Yashoda, she's going to object to that. And because Radhika has the boon from Durvasa. And then Kotila says, well, what happens if Radhika is given a boon from some sadhu that everyone she touches is going to become self-realized? Is she going to go around touching everybody? There has to be some parameters here to, in our culture, just to behave this way is not correct at all. So she's making big objection. So Radhika, she becomes confined to the house for the whole day. And it's described in Braj, even the birds and the cows are aware of the taut separation mood that Radha and Krishna are experiencing, because the entire day Radhika hasn't been able to escape the house from her vigilant Jyotila. So all the Sakis and Krishna, they're all brainstorming how we're going to actually work this out. And then Vishaka and Punamasi and Krishna, they devise a remarkable scheme to actually break this. And then a little later on in the evening time, then Vishaka, she comes in front of Jyotila and she begins rolling on the ground, wailing, oh, something so terrible has happened, so terrible, terrible. Your daughter-in-law, Radhika, she's been bitten by a serpent. Jyotila says, how could she be bitten by a serpent? And Vishaka says, because she saw the jewel on the serpent's head and thought it was one of her jewels and went down to pick it up, and the serpent bit her. And now the poison is just coming up so quickly in her body. Jyotila, she runs in and she sees Radhika's condition, because Radhika is in the height of her separation mood. Prior to this, all the Sakis trying to calm her down, cool her down, they got beautiful fragrant lotuses and made a bed of it. And as soon as Radhika just came close to it, all the lotuses dried up immediately from the heat of her separation. And so her condition is extreme in separation from Krishna, thinking that this separation is going to have to continue, because Jyotila is really adamant about this. So Vishaka, she's rolling on the ground. Jyotila comes in and she witnesses the heat in Radhika's separation mood. And she says immediately, tell Abhimanyu to go quickly and bring the snake charmer. And Radhika, she's conscious, but she tells Jyotila at that time, I will never ever allow a man to touch even a toe of my body. I am a chaste lady. It doesn't matter who. And Jyotila is saying, but in time, place, and circumstance for emergency, then you have to do what's necessary. Radhika is said, I will leave my body right now if you try to bring any man into um, giving me the mantras for getting rid of this poison. So Jyotila, she becomes very worried then. She just doesn't know what to do. And then Vishaka says, let's go to Purnamasi. Purnamasi, she's the ascetic in the village. Purnamasi knows everything. Purnamasi is Yoga Maya. And all the residents kind of intuit that, because Purnamasi does remarkable things whenever it's necessary. She'll make the adjustments materially or spiritually. She'd always arrange everything. So Jyotila, Vishaka, they go to Purnamasi. And Purnamasi happens to be with one young girl called Gagi, who's the daughter of Gaga Rishi, Gagamuni from Mathura. She's with Gagi. And Jyotila is telling her, explaining the drastic situation that's happened with Sri Radhika. And then Gagi is saying, oh, an amazing coincidence has happened. My sister has just come back from Kashi, and she also knows all the mantras for taking the poison out of someone's body that's been bitten by a serpent. So Jyotila, she's listening like this. Oh, this is providence for sure, that it's a woman. And it's even your sister, respectable Gagi, because Gagi is very respectable in the township of Vrindavan. Everyone knows Gagi. So everything is authentic. This whole pastime is fully authentic. It's just amazing. It's astonishing the degree that these apparent children go through with their mischievous acts. So then Jyotila and Kotila is also there with beseeching Purnamasi and Gagi. So Gagi says, we'll go to my house, and Vidyavali is her name. Vidyavali is her apparent sister. So they come to Vidyavali in Gagi's home where she's staying in Javat, close by. And of course, Vidyavali is Krishna, dressed as the most beautiful girl, Kishori, with a veil, etc. And then Jyotila, she starts to glorify Vidyavali and beg Vidyavali to please come and, save her daughter-in-law's life. Vidyavali is saying, absolutely no. No way in the world. Who do you think I am? I'm a Brahmin's daughter. I just don't go from house to house curing anybody's snake bites, This is not what a Brahmin girl does. And she's very angry with Gagi. Why are you putting me into this, Gagi? Why are you? And then Gagi, in front of Jyotila, she becomes angry with Vidyavali. Oh, you should be merciful sometimes. You've been in Kashi too long. Your heart has grown hard from all those Kashi Brahmanas. Now, actually, this is Vrindavan. Things are much softer and easier here. And Vidyavali said, but I'm from a very good family. My father-in-law, my father, we're very pure dynasty. How can I just do something like this? Anyway, Jyotila, she's begging. She's saying, you will purchase me and my whole family's life forever if you can do this one act. And finally, Vidyavali, on the coaxing of Gagi. So there's not even a smell of suspicion of what's going on here, because it's so pucker arrangement. And then um, Vidyavali, she comes in the evening time with Jotila and Kotila and Gagi and Punamasi. All of them come to the house in Jabat of Radhika. And Radhika is just lying there. And Vishaka, she's tied a string around her waist to try and keep the poison down. But the poison is rising and rising. And Vidyavali tells Jotila, you should tell your daughter-in-law that the medicine I have to give is my tambul, and it's mixed with the mantras from my throat. And that medicine is going to cure her. Plus, I have to feel her whole body from the bottom to the top. I have to work through, I have to feel where the poison is all the way through. So Krishna gets down and he starts from Radhika's feet, massaging. Krishna's hands are trembling because he's massaging Radhika's feet in front of Jotila, in front of Kotila. So, and Radhika is there too, and she knows what's going on. Radhika has understood as soon as Krishna's fragrance has come into her nostril, she realizes, oh, my prananath is here. She realizes this, but it's an amazing pastime. So Krishna, he's massaging and he comes to her breasts and he stays on her breasts and he says, the poison's not leaving. He tells it that this poison is very powerful. It's very virulent, this poison. It's not leaving. I must call the snake god who bit your daughter-in-law. You all have to leave the room straight away and lock the door, and I will call the snake god. So there's nothing else to do. So Jotila, Kotila, Punamasi, everyone, they all leave. And Krishna, he locks the door. And he starts to invoke mantras to call the snake god from Kailash. So the Sakis, they already know what's going on. So they tell Jotila and Kotila, because they've gone into another room, he tells them, let's all listen at the door. Let's hear what he is going to say to the snake god. So all the, and Jotila and Kotila, they're all listening at the door. And then Krishna, he calls the snake god. Then he impersonates the snake god. Why did you bite Shrimati Radhika? Why did you bite her? And the snake god says, I wanted to make Jotila suffer. I wanted to kill her son, Abhimanyu, but I can't kill her son, Abhimanyu, because of the power of your daughter-in-law. If your daughter-in-law is alive, nothing can hurt Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu can only be successful in his life if your daughter-in-law is healthy and well. So I have to kill your daughter-in-law first, then I can kill Abhimanyu, and then that will make you suffer. It will make Jotila suffer. He's saying this to Krishna inside the room, the snake god. He's saying it to make Jotila suffer. And then Krishna, the Dhyavali, he asks the snake god, why do you want Jotila to suffer? And the snake god says, because she has committed two huge offenses. First of all, she's not honoring the boon of Durvasa. Durvasa is a unksi of Shivji, and Shivji is my master, and she's offending Durvasa by not allowing her daughter-in-law to cook for Krishna in Nandagaon. So this is an offense. And the second offense is that she's been accused of being an unchaste lady by you, Jotila. So Jotila, she's hearing this on the other side of the door, that the snake wanted to kill actually Abhimanyu, was going to kill Radha to make her. And then she starts to beat her head against the floor, thinking, oh my God, you know, if this snake kills my children, then I have no life left whatsoever. So she becomes devastated. Then she's crying out on the other side of the door, oh, Vidyavali, please tell this snake god that I will never restrict my daughter again. My daughter-in-law will always be able to go, and whenever she wants, she can take as much time as she likes, but she can stay there as long as she needs to stay to do the cooking. I will never, ever restrict her again in my life. I swear this. And then the snake god says, how can I believe you? You swear it on the head of your son Abhimanyu. So Jotila, she puts her hand on her son's head outside the door, and she takes this oath on her son's head that she will never, ever restrict the movements of her daughter-in-law. And then she also says and I will never um, uh, disrespect the words and benediction that Durvasa Rishi has given my daughter-in-law to nourish this person, Yashoda's son, Krishna. So these two offenses like this. So then Krishna or Vidyavali is saying out loud, he's saying, because he knows that they're listening on the other side of the door, he's saying, it seems that the snake god is satisfied with this. And the snake god speaks himself. He said, yes, I'm satisfied with this. I will accept your word. You can say what you like about Radha and Krishna meeting together. Whatever you think, you can say like that. But if you ever try to restrict her movements, then your son will definitely die. So he's just confirming that. And then the snake god leaves. And then Vidyavali, she says immediately, oh, it seems amazing. The snake poison is going already. The snake poison is already going away. And then he unlocks the door and all the Sakis come in. Jyotila comes in and Radharani, she's just sitting up looking fine. And they all say, how are you? How are you? She says, well, now I'm feeling fine. I'm feeling good now. All the poison's gone completely. And Jyotila and Kotila are so happy. They're so relieved that she's alive. And then Kotila, she whispers to her mother, oh, we should give her a beautiful necklace. And Jyotila says, what do you mean necklace? We should give her a whole set of clothes. Why just necklace? We should decorate her completely from head to foot. And then Shri Radhika says, yes, I will do like this. And then Vidyavali says, well, now it's very late, and me and Gagi, we should go back to our home. Now it's after midnight. We should go back to our home. And then Jyotila says, what do you mean go back to your home? You stay the night here. And Gagi says, yes, actually that poison can come back at any time. And then Jyotila says, yes, both of you should sleep together in the flower bed on the roof. And Vidyavali should sleep with you just in case that poison comes back in the night. Then she'll be there to actually chant some mantras to offset it. So it's described that now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is describing this pastime so beautifully he describes it. Then he says at the very end, he says that Radhika feels that all her desires have been utterly fulfilled, that Krishna enjoyed with her right in front of Jyotila and Kotila. And he, even under the direction of Kotila, he's come to my bed in Javat. So it's like she's saying, Providence has completely blessed me today, that all of this has happened. And she just goes into such ecstasy because of this. So Vidyavali and Radhika, they go to that flower bed, and then that's the end of the pastime. But it's such an incredible pastime. It's very involved and so perfectly, astonishingly arranged, down to every single detail. Even when Vidyavali is arguing with Jyotila that she's not going to come to the house and so on, just building this absolute confidence there. So very beautiful part. This is called this is the third story in the Chamatkar Chandrika. So this is very beautiful pastime. And then there are so many pastimes in Javat. Javat is a beautiful place. When we go today in Javat, it's a small, very humble place. You know, you can hardly get there. You get there by road, but it's through all ditches and so on. And when you come up the hill into Javat, it's a very simple. Actually, there's two pujaris residing there in Javat. I think one of them's left now. His name was Vrindavan. The other is called Jamuna. And they told me one time that they have no money whatsoever. And they have no idea how these beautiful deities of Radha Kantaji, the deities in Javat, are totally exquisite. To me, it's the most beautiful deity of Radhika that I've ever seen in my life. She looks like a 14-year-old. She looks exactly like a Kishori, and she has a little beauty spot on her face, and she just looks so much like a Kishori. Anyway, these deities, every day, someone from the village will bring a little dal. Someone will bring a little rice. Someone will bring a little bit of dood, of dahi, all these things. They will just bring themselves to support the temple. This is how the temple is actually funded. Although a friend of mine, Rupa Raghunath, perhaps some might know him, he was contributing greatly to that. He gave them water, piped in water, because previously there was no water there. He gave them gas to use a gas cylinder, etc. So there's been some upgrade in the temple, but it's still incredibly rustic. And it's such a beautiful temple. There's a tree in the courtyard that twists all around. And my Gurudev explained this tree is twisting out of ecstasy for all these types of astonishing pastimes, because Jyotila is like the citadel. She's the capital, the fortress, to guard her chaste daughter-in-law. And Krishna, he's the, most mischievous person in existence, having to break this fortress of Jyotila's, prohibitions to keep him out. So there are other pastimes that are here, but I want to go on to Kokilavana also today. So those are the, and also we see here very beautiful deities of Jyotila, Kotila, and Abhimanyu. Very simple deities, just to the side. These deities were found in a cave by Mahaprabhu on Nandishwa Hill, Nandishwa in Nandagaon. In Nandagaon, Mahaprabhu was there, and he discovered himself in one cave. The locals, they said, we don't know who these figures are. And Mahaprabhu immediately recognized, this is Jyotila, Kotila, and Abhi. Because without these people, how can these pastimes, how can these astonishing understanding of the affection and love between their playfulness, their childish, youthful merriment in performing these sorts of pastimes, how can they go on if you don't have Abhimanyu, Jyotila, and Kotila? It's just like Chandravali. If Chandravali is not there, how will Radhika ever go into Man? How will she exhibit this? How will Krishna ever have to do all this work to break her Man? So all these personalities have their definite place in the pastime. So this um, uh, Mahaprabhu, he established these deities, and now they're just sitting beside Radhakant in Javat. So now we're going to, there are many more stories. If we have more time, we would have told more stories. You actually need a couple of days to stay in Javat. There's 2 stories to the building. You can come on the top of the building and you can have a beautiful landscape view. You can see Nandagal very clearly from the roof, and you can see all the forests around. It's very, very, very beautiful atmosphere. But now we're going to leave this beautiful place and we're going to walk back to the main road, which is about 1.5 miles back to the main road. Then we're going to cross over the main road. Almost directly adjacent to the road into Javat is Kokilavana. And we're going to come to the forest of Kokilavana. And this forest gets its name from one time when Jyotila was in Javat, and Krishna, he wanted Radhika to come out of Javat and meet him. They'd arranged a meeting place, and Krishna was waiting, and Radhika wasn't coming. So Krishna began to sing like a cuckoo, like a kokil, so beautifully. Even Jyotila, she heard this cuckoo singing, and she said to the Sakis, I've never heard a more beautiful cuckoo singing all my life. The Saki says, yes, maybe we can all go and find her. And then Jyotila says, yes, yes, you please all go quickly, all go together so you're safe, and go and find this cuckoo and see if you can even capture that cuckoo and bring it back into our house. So the Sakis, they all go off to meet Krishna. But this name, Kokilvan, gets its name from the cuckoo that Krishna impersonated that time. So we come into the big, very large courtyard. This is a huge tourist place. This is the place of Shanidev, Shanidev. Huge, huge, huge. How many feet? 50, 50 feet. It's huge. Murti of Shanidev is here. So all the people from Delhi, they all come down to Shanidev. And if we understand the pastime of Shanidev, I don't want to go into the heavenly planets for too long, but we should just perhaps explain, because some people don't know who Shanidev is. I never knew who Shanidev was to begin. Indian people will know who he is from birth, but many Westerners have no idea who is Shani. He's very black because he's actually the first son of Suryadev. Suryadev had a wife, Sarjan, who became Sandhya. Her name was later given as Sandhya, but her first name was Sarjan. And she's the daughter of Vishvakarma, the architect of the Devas, brilliant architect, and she's his daughter. So when she came to marriageable age, Vishvakarma arranged for Suryadev to accept her. And when she went to stay on the sun planet, after some years, the heat of the sun just became too intolerable for her. She just couldn't handle the heat of Suryadev anymore. So she wanted to arrange a way that she could leave um, for some time. So what she did, because she's an architect's daughter and very brilliant herself, she and knows all mystical incantations, etc., she manifested another form of herself, and she called it Chaya, like a shadow. It's described as like the first clone ever in existence. It's the exact replica of herself. And she instructed her carefully how to behave with Suryadev, her who would be her husband while she was away. And then she comes back to her father's house, and she stays in her father's house for some time. But then, to the horror of her father, later on, they find out that Chaya is actually pregnant and delivers a son, a child. So Sandhya is absolutely furious with this. You know, this was not part of the deal at all, that she was supposed to produce a son. So this son is actually Shanidev, and Sandhya. I'll call her Sandhya, but she has two names. But Sandhya is the second name she has. Sandhya goes back to her father's home, and she's furious with Chaya, her shadow. Chaya means shadow. She's furious, and she dissolves her. She dissolves her. She places her in a place where she no longer has any existence. Is how she unpacks the whole clone, and then she just tries to ignore Shanidev completely. Doesn't give him any attention whatsoever, and speaks very badly about him to Suryadev. That he's just a reprobate, he's unintelligent, everything like that, puts him down completely because she's so angry with. And then almost straight away, she produces two children. That's Yamaraj and Yamuna Devi. These two children are produced by Sandhya. And then when it comes, these children all come to the age of having their um, blessings of their father and their proper allocation of their services, then Yama is given the service of Yamaraj, and Yamuna is given the river Yamuna in the holy Dham. But Sanidev is completely ignored by his father because Sandhya has got in his ear and says you should not give him anything at all. And Sandhya is just like left out in the cold completely. He's not getting his father's affection, neither is he getting any affection from his mother. So now he's being completely ignored at the time of when they're investing them with their potencies, their powers of what is their savior to do. So he is furious, he is livid at this time, and he comes in front of his mother, Sandhya, and he aims a kick at her with his right foot. He kicks her belly very hard, and his mother is just utterly shocked at this. And then she curses him that he will lose his leg. And Suryadev, he hears this commotion, and he comes down, and the whole um, uh, plot is exposed to Suryadev. And Sandhya, she breaks down and she tells Suryadev actually what happens. That this son, Sunnydev, is not from her womb. It's from Chaya, from this clone. And Suryadev, he embraces his son. And at that time, he nominates his son for the position of Saturn. So if we're in our Saturn, what do you call it?
Shani.
planet,
Shani.
one of the 9 planets.
Yeah, well, Saturn, the Saturn influence.
Yeah, the planet. The planet.
Yeah. So if then Shani Dev is representing the potency behind that planet, that's his planet. He becomes that planet. Yes, he becomes that planet. And he's very exacting and he's very harsh, probably because of the treatment that he had when he was younger. So this is Shani. And then his father blesses him that you won't lose your leg, but you'll just be a bit crippled in the leg. So we always see him with, he always has to be supported with his stick and so on. But Shani Dev is very powerful demigod indeed. So these are the pastimes. I'm going to post the whole story of this on our WhatsApp thread so you can read the whole pastime. But it's interesting for the Vaishnavas and devotees to hear these pastimes and realize, no, we don't want to go to Swaga. Because many people, especially born in Bharatvash, from birth, they're hearing all about the different devas and their opulences and their mystic potencies and everything. And they have some aspiration. What's that called? Bhoga yoni, to go to the species of pleasure. The demigods are so much enjoying that they can't develop devotion to Krishna. But in the Bhagavatam, certainly from the 7th, 8th, and 9th cantos, there's so many pastimes describing the different celestial heavenly pastimes to dissuade the sadhak from ever wanting to go to Swagaloka, because so many people have that on their list. If you're not properly educated as a Vaishnava, you might think that the best use of your life is to try and go to the heavenly planets in your next birth, Swagaloka. Anyway, this pastime is about Shanidev, and this is the personality of Shanidev. So, and then later on, his mother, this is long, it goes on the pastime, but I won't dwell on it. We'll come back to Radha and Krishna. But this is Shanidev that's in Kokilvan. And also in Kokilvan, there are many beautiful kunds and so on that you can pray to. And my Gurudev tells a story there. Maybe if Nikunja is watching or other devotees who were there, because I remember my Gurudev explaining to us all one time we were there that how he took his bath in this kund, which is there in Kokilvan. This is all like become touristy now. When we go there, it's a huge cemented car park. And it's usually packed, jammed with cars and buses and everything, and all kinds of vendors. It's a real hotspot because Shanidev's there. That's why he's so big. And they just make a fortune out of Shanidev, you know. But there's this kund there, and if you go and you bathe in that kund, it will has the potency to take away all your diseases and all your sins. And what it's just a ritualistic thing, but what you take off all your clothes, you keep your underwear on, whatever, and then you throw your clothes in the trees around, and then you come out with nothing basically, and then you start fresh life. So many, people, I won't say devotees, but many people are attracted to going to do it. And my Gurudev also describes that he did the same thing. He said, yes, I took off all my cloth and threw it in the tree, and then I did like, but he described like that. So he didn't tell the whole story, but he told something of his experience personally.
So there's loads of people that are walking around in their underwear.
Well, that's secondary. They put on a gumshoe, whatever. That's not the point. The point is that all the trees are filled with the different clothes. Yeah. But the point is they're attracted to that. But close by here is we come a little bit south from here, and we come more. This is Kokilvan. So now we come into the place of Khadiravana more fully. Javat is like one side of Khadiravana, and where we're going to describe now, Umrao, this is Khadiravana also. But Kokilvan is a smaller forest, which is in between the two arms of this forest of Khadiravana. If you understand, it goes around. So in Khadiravana, there's a place called Umrao, which is very famous. And in this place of Umrao is where, first of all, Krishna, in another place close by Umrao, is called Chatarvan. And in Chata, Krishna and his sakas, or his sakas rather, they established Krishna on a beautiful asan. and they declared him the royal Chhatrapati. What is it called? The Chhatrapati, the Chhatrapati, the king of the area. And Sridham was holding an umbrella, and Subal was fanning, and Madhumangal was the court gesture, and Sudarn was a minister, and all the other Sakis were sitting there, and they all declared Krishna is the indisputed king of this area of Braj. And if anybody contradicts Krishna's orders, we will punish them severely. And all the Sakas went off and they were proclaiming these proclamations that they had made themselves, children. And Lalita Saki, she heard this and she became incensed with anger. So Lalita at Umrao, she gathered all the Sakis and they installed Sri Radhika. They dressed her in a completely amazing royal outfit, totally royal, beautiful helmet, etc., and all royal dress. And they declared her, Lalita was the chief minister, and Vishaka was fanning, and who else is there? Chitra Saki, she is there, and all the Sakis are there, supporting Sri Radhika's queenship of Braj. And Lalita says, if anyone contradicts Sri Radhika's laws, they will be punished severely by us. So all the Sakis, they're on fire, and they take up their weapons, their sticks, their flower sticks, and they attack all the Sakas. They all go like an army, thousands of gopis going to attack this usurper king, Krishna. And they all come across the fields with all their flower sticks. And the Sakas, they see them all coming and they all run away. All the Sakas, they run, because they know how bold these girls are. They're really strong. But they capture Madhumangal and they tie him up. And then they bring him to the lotus feet of Sri Radhika and they slap his cheeks. And then Madhumangal, he's whimpering and whimpering and whimpering. And he says, however you punish me, make sure it's good for my stomach. And then Radhika, she starts to laugh. This boy is useless. Just send him back. Give him a laddu and send him back. So Madhumangal, he goes back to Krishna and explains everything that happened. So then Krishna, now he becomes, angry with this. So then he calls all the Sakas and then they all come to invade Radhika's kingdom. But as soon as Krishna sees Radhika in her royal dress with her beautiful flashing lotus-like eyes, immediately he crumbles totally. He's totally controlled. And then all the other Sakas, they get the mood from Krishna and then they just sit down passively. And then the Sakis and the Sakas, they take Krishna and they sit him beside Radhika. And then they all come and they all honor Radha and Krishna as the king and queen of Braj. So this is called Umrao. Umrao means a noble place or a royal place. This is the Umrava is the place. So in this very place, there's a kund called Kishori Kund. And this is where our great Lokanath Goswami, he would meditate in his bhajan at Kishori Kund. It's very close by Umrah. It's in Khadiravana. And he was one day desiring to worship Radha and Krishna in the deity form. Lokanath Goswami, he's exactly the same age, 18, 1486 took his birth, Lokanath Goswami, same year as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he met Mahaprabhu in Navadvip. And then Mahaprabhu, he instructed him immediately, you should go to Braj. Because Mahaprabhu at that time, he knew, Mahaprabhu was about 22, 23 years old at that time. He knew he was going to go into the renounced order at 25 and leave, and he knew the heart of Lokanath Goswami was too soft to actually see him make that transition into the renounced order. So he orders him to go to Vrindavan. And Lokanath Goswami is preparing to go to Vrindavan, and then his uncle, Burgaba Goswami, who we'll speak about tomorrow because it's his appearance day tomorrow. And he comes with Lokanath Goswami. and they're together so much of the time. But when Lokanath Goswami is here at Kishorikund, he's alone, and he's in his heart really desiring to worship Radha and Krishna. And a Brahman, he appears before Lokanath Goswami, who's just meditating there, and he has these beautiful, stunning deities of Radha Vinod, and he just places them in front of Lokanath Goswami, and then this Brahman disappears. And Lokanath Goswami is astonished. He sees these beautiful. Then the deities say immediately, they speak to Lokanath Goswami, "We are hungry. Please feed us." And he, first of all, he says, "Our name is Radha Vinod." So first, Krishna gives his name, Radha Vinod, and then, "We are very hungry. Please immediately feed us." So Lokanath, he feeds, and he makes a beautiful julan, a beautiful bag that he carries them around his neck, traveling all through, because Lokanath is always moving around, and he's finding roots and fruits, etc. But he's preparing, and he's dedicating his whole life to these deities. Today are in the Gokulananda Mandir. If we go to Gokulananda in Vrindavan, huh?
Pratibu. They're in Jaipur.
Yes, yes, the original ones are in Jaipur. Is that right? I'm not sure about that. Because the actual stone
Yeah,
that.
I've seen
Okay, okay.
it's a Gaudiya Vaishnav temple.
Okay, so Radha Vinod are in Jaipur today, but their Pratibhu is in Gokulananda. And the Pratibhu is non-different, as it's described. But Lokanath Goswami is in the center of that courtyard, that samadhi there. So we remember this pastime here in this same area of Khadiravana. So this is the area. Also, there's a Rasa Stali, a Rasa Leela pastime place. Also, there's the place of Ratnakar Sarovar here, which is a lake, a beautiful Sarovar, which the Sakis manifested themselves. And from this lake, so much milk came naturally. And wait a minute, no, I think they made the kund with milk. And from that milk came many, many jewels. So it's called Ratna Sarovar, Jewel Sarovar. So from that kund comes many jewels, that just like the ocean throws up many jewels, the regular ocean, what to speak of a milk kund. It threw up jewels. The Sakis, they wanted more jewels. So that is Ratna Sarovar is there. And then Anjanoka is there, which is the um, residence of Vishaka. Vishaka, first of all, she lived in Anjanoka. And close by is a place called Kerala, where Lalita Saki took her birth. Lalita Saki takes birth there, and then she moves to Uchagan later. And Vishaka, she's related to Jotila, and she moves to Javat also. They're all related to each other. Also in this area is the residence of Upananda. Upananda, the elder son, brother of Nanda Baba, and his residence is here. And his son, who's like a brother to Krishna, Subhadra, and his brother's wife, his son's wife, Subhadra's wife, is Kalavati. So Kalavati is in the pastimes described in many instances. She's always supporting Krishna fully. She's dedicated to supporting Krishna. So Krishna uses her potency many times in the different pastimes to create mirth and joy and festive arrangements. So all of these pastimes principally are aspects or are windows, we can say, into the joyful festival activities of the Sakas and Sakis in Vrindavan. And all this is in an area very close by Nandagaon and very close by Varshana. So this whole area, of course, 5,000 years ago was nothing but a beautiful, ecstatic forest. And all the gopis and Sakas, they all knew this forest very well. Like we know streets in cities, they knew the forest in the same way. They knew where the Kadamba grove is, where the Ashok grove is, where the um, the, what else? The different um, the banyan, the javat, etc., the banyan trees, etc. All of the different landmarks within the forest. And they would reference all these, and they would have all their remarkable arrangements and pastimes around there. So this is our parikrama for today, and it's a very ecstatic day, really and truly. And I want to send you all the book in a PDF form of Chamatkar Chandrika if you don't have. And also there's an audio of that. And if we listen, even for a little while, to these astonishing pastimes, we can appreciate Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He says, without this achintya bhav, our bhakti is like zero. We've talked a lot about this in our Jaiva Dharma classes. This mood of astonishment. Like if we're not being astonished constantly, regularly, then we're not moving beyond this material boundary, so to speak. Spiritual life is packed with astonishing wonderment. So these pastimes between Radha and Krishna really accentuate that. They really bring that out, that Krishna can conceive of such remarkable pastimes. That there's another, the second pastime is even more beautiful, when Krishna impersonates Abhimanyu. But you can all read that for yourselves, but that's very beautiful. So all these pastimes go on like that. And I'll also send you a connection to look at the story of Sunny Dev. Because if we go to Kokilavana, we come to this big tourist area, and we should know at least who is Sunny Dev. Sunny Dev, it's Saturday today. So this is Shanivar. In Hindi, they say Shanivar, the name of the day. So many people worship Sunny Dev today. And how do you worship? You give oil to cool him down. Because mustard oil, yes, because his body is very hot from the heat of the sun. Actually, Sandhya, she arranged with her father, Vishwakarma, to make the rays come less onto her body with some development. It's described. It becomes like a matte finish, but you can read about it. But this is the pastime of Sunny Dev, who we should honor, we should give respect to, any Deva. They are all servants of the Supreme Lord, except they don't know the Supreme Lord the way we know the Supreme Lord. They don't know him with devotion. They know him as their master, but they don't have the same devotion. They're devoted to the Brahman, because Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the Devas, he's described as being Brahman realized. So if the spiritual master is Brahman realized, what's he going to teach his disciples? It's only the Brahman. So they all believe the actual final conclusion is the Brahman. But we'll worship Vishnu when he comes. When he comes to bail us out from being defeated by the demons, we'll honor him. But if he asks for a parijat tree or a flower later on, forget it. We'll attack him for it. So, it's a fascinating topic. We should understand the Swagaloka mood, and because we don't want to go there at the time of death. We may be attracted or tantalized in that direction, but we want to be convinced. And from the 7th, 8th, and 9th cantos, it really describes many, especially the 8th canto, are the intrigues and the wars and the battles that the demigods go through, all the struggles. It starts from the 6th canto, actually, with Indra. He kills the Brahmana, etc. And so much trouble and strife he has running away from his sinful reactions. So we must be cautious for that. But just to appreciate Javat and Kokilavana and Khadiravana, these three forests, or two forests, Khadiravana and Kokilavana, and the township of Javat, and the location. It's all near Terkadamba and Nandagam. This is the area. It's a beautiful area. It's very accessible. It's not far away if you're in Vrindavan. It's very close. And going there out of season is very delightful. We went there, drove all around looking for those places. But it's very attractive, beautiful. So Javat Stan ki jai, Kokilvan ki jai, Khadiravana ki jai, Vraja-mandala Parikrama day 29 ki jai, Anantakota Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Golda Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Ananda Rupam Lasat Kundalanda Kule Vraja-manam Yashodaviyalukaladavanam Param Vishamatyanta Pamuchalaya Udantam Munetam Jantam Param Puja Yugmena Satanganetam Ushasakam Patriyakantakanta Sita Javata Modaram Iti Salila De Ananda Kande Sagoshami Majanta Adapayanta Tadiyashita Yashu Mokayati Tatvam Tuna Prematastam Satam Litivante Varandeva Mokshana Mokshavadimba Rajanya Vineham Varishadabhina Nidandeva Purnata Mupayamalam Sadaminanasya Vidasamtimante Nidandeva Nambodam Ajatanile Nidam Kundale Smita Rakaishabhya Moshamitam Bimba Vattanarane Manasari Asamalanlashavane Namo Devadangoda Ananda Vishnu Prasina Prabhu Dukha Salakimam Vipadrishi Vishyasi Viramgatana Jnana Mama Jnana Shri Krishna Uverana Jomada Uverayana Jayamati Kaumati Bhajamidanta Tata Prema Bhakti Satame Prayacha Namakshaya Home Sita Lokareha Namaste Sudhane Suryajitirane Nadiya Dharayata Vishwasvadame Namo Radhikaya Tvaniya Priyaya Namo Nandamilaya Devaya Namo Radhikaya Tvaniya Priyaya Namo Nandamilaya Devaya Jaya Damodara Jaya Damodara Damodara Jaya Damodara Jaya Jaya Damodara Jaya Damodara Jaya Damodara Jaya Damodara Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radha 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 Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Nitai Gauri Hari Bo, Nitai Gauri Hari Bo, Nitai Gauri Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gauri Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gauri Hari Bo, Gauda Premanandi,
Haribo. Srila Gurudev ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Arupanuga Guru Vargya ki
Jai.
jai. Vraja-mandala Parikrama ki jai.
Jai.
Gauda Premanandi.
Haribo.
So tomorrow is our last day, and we'll be glorifying Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami tomorrow, along with Burgaba Goswami and Kashishwar Pandit. Kashishwar Pandit. And there perhaps will be time if anyone has any question that you would like us to answer, then you can send a WhatsApp message just to me or to Rasa Manjari with any question that we could, because I think it'll be a comparatively short day. I'm not sure how long Nishinga will speak on Srila Prabhupada. If he speaks for 40-50 minutes, then that would be good. And then we'll still have a little bit of time extra. But tomorrow is our last day. And if there's any question about the whole parikrama that you want to take advantage of, there will be time if anyone wants to have any comment, or not comment, but question, that we can unpack and open up a little bit more. So that'll be available a little extra time at the end tomorrow. But tomorrow is our last day. So Jai, Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhaveva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaha.